Is the Vice President of Enrollment Management at Spring Arbor University, John Bahr. Hi, John.
Hey, Bart. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, welcome back.
Glad to be here.
Happy 4th.
Yeah, looking forward to spending some time with my wife and kids this weekend. It'll
Nice.
be fun.
Any plans going on anywhere?
So we usually head down to Hanover Horton and go to their festivities. The small town parade, which my kids love, get to sit front row and watch everything from the fire trucks and the tractors to the local organizations that march in the parade. And then they do a fantastic fireworks display in the evening after the baseball tournament wraps up. So we have multiple options in this community for great places to go. That one happens to be real close to us because we live just over off of Moscow on the south side of town. So.
Yeah, it really is awesome. It's Americana, and it's just, it's like a Norman Rockwell would picture the 4th of July. It's awesome.
Yeah,
I'll be there too.
Will you?
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we'll see you there.
Well, I'll be there in the morning for the run, so
okay.
I don't know how long I'll be there, but maybe we'll come back.
Okay.
So I've been on the campus at Spring Arbor this summer because you've got camps, Cougar camps underway.
Oh yeah.
It's really the campus. It is a year-round. There's something going on all the time now.
Yep. Yeah, we've got not only the Cougar camps, the athletic camps. We've also got Fellowship of Christian Athletes running multiple weeks of camps on our campus. They're there right now, actually. And then after they leave, Student Statesmanship Institute comes to our campus. They do a number of government and entrepreneurship type camps that they run. I think they've got 3 weeks scheduled on our campus as those students leave. So we really don't sleep. We just move from our students to other people's students and then back to our students again.
Yeah, my brother-in-law, Bill Lundberg, is there with the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, and I understand he's been quite disruptive this week.
Well, I wouldn't say disruptive.
He's made his presence known.
Yeah, there. I think that's a better way of saying it.
Well, you this week made it really, I think for many, a very exciting announcement called the Cougar Commitment.
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah, so Spring Arbor, throughout our history, I mean, we have just a long and rich history of providing access to education that goes all the way back to our founding. As you know, we're in our 150th year and have had multiple events and celebrations of that milestone throughout this year. But you look back into our history, back in the 1920s even, Olive Johnson, African-American woman, was a student at Spring Arbor. You fast forward into the 80s when we introduced adult learning and non-traditional learning in the state, and then began to provide education throughout prison programs. And that's just continued. We've continued to seek ways to provide access to education, and the Cougar Commitment is just the next step in that. For students that have high financial need, students where a 4-year college degree might not otherwise have been in reach, something that maybe wasn't a part of their plan. With the competitive financial aid packages that we offer and the aid that's provided by the state, we've come up with a way to make that tuition free for those students that have the highest need. Free
tuition at Spring Arbor University?
Correct.
For everyone that's qualified?
For those that are qualified, yep.
Our director in the control room, who just graduated last month from Spring Arbor University, he's wondering if there's rebates available.
Not that I'm aware of, but if you'd like to have our CFO on for an in-depth discussion, you're welcome to invite her to the show.
Sorry, Austin. But maybe you go back and get a master's degree. Maybe you can take advantage of the Cougar Commitment. Now, it's really something that started with Kalamazoo and the Kalamazoo Promise several years ago. We've seen Wayne State come up with something just last week, a couple weeks ago, Jackson College as well. Overall, higher education is recognizing that it has been out of reach financially for a lot of people, and it sounds like you are taking the step to make sure that that's not going to be the case.
Yeah, I think, what has been seen throughout the country in different places. So it's not just the Kalamazoo Promise. We've seen things obviously throughout this state. Other states are seeing the same thing as you mentioned, that higher education is not always in reach for students, and we know that a higher education degree is life-changing, right? The most recent studies would indicate that the difference in lifetime earnings for somebody that's a high school graduate versus a 4-year college degree graduate is over $1 million. And that's massive, right? And that's things that can change the trajectory of a family, can change the trajectory of an individual's life. And so we take a lot of pride in our ability to offer that education, but not just to offer it, but to put it in reach for students that might not otherwise think that that's something that they could do. And we've been blessed to have that recognized in a couple of different ways. U.S. News and World Reports has recognized us for a category they call social mobility. So those students that may come from economically disadvantaged backgrounds, and the job that we do in preparing them to go out and earn incomes that outpace the situation that they came from. We've been recognized by U.S. News for our work with students that maybe don't have the top profile academically. They're not the 4.0, 36 ACT, 1600 SAT student, but we've been rated as an A+ college for B students. And so, we like I said, we take a lot of pride in working with students from all backgrounds, students from all types of academic scenarios, students from all types of family situations, household situations. We do a great job with first-gen students. We do a great job with those students that didn't have, as many resources coming to us, and turning them into really successful graduates.
I've been at events where you've had students speak and graduates who came to Spring Arbor with nothing, and I mean literally nothing. You've had refugees from Africa who had settled in the United States via Wisconsin and Minnesota that literally had no shoes when they showed up at Spring Arbor. And you wonder, how on earth, how does a student have success in school when they have nothing? But there's, as you said, other ways besides the tuition that you are supporting students.
Right, and it's not just the financial support to get a student, right? Because our goal is never just to enroll a student. Our goal is to create successful graduates. And to do that, we've got to provide the right resourcing for those students throughout their 4 years. And we do that through academic tutoring, faculty that really love to teach. That's probably the biggest difference between us and a state school or a larger school where the faculty are really there to lead research. Our faculty are on our campus because they love pouring into the lives of their students, and they do a phenomenal job of doing that. So when you take that and combine it with the other resources that come out of our student life department, we do a really good job of preparing those students for what the future is going to look like for them.
Yeah, I think because you have this mission that prepares students to be world citizens in more ways than just a graduate or a student, and the opportunities to travel, have semesters abroad, those kinds of things, those are, I think, one of the key attractive elements to the university.
Yeah, critical participants in a contemporary world.
That's it.
As we say. Yeah, we've got multiple opportunities for students to immerse themselves in other cultures, right? It's hard to be a participant in the contemporary world if you've been sheltered from it your entire life or your entire academic career. So whether that's through semester-long study in another country, whether that's through one of our short-term travel trips that are part of our core program, we offer a multitude of ways for our students to be immersed in and engaged with people that come from a different background than theirs, and that provides a great pathway for them to engaging in the world after they leave Spring Arbor.
And this starts right now. Students for this coming fall.
Correct.
Full-time. They've got to, now the FAFSA, all that other stuff, they have to get that, go through all that first.
Yep, yeah, so you have to have filed your FAFSA, not necessarily with Spring Arbor, but somewhere, have it on file by May 1st. You have to be a high school graduate in 2023. You have to have at least a 3.0 or better GPA. And part of that is because some of what makes this possible is what the state did with the budget this year and the funding that the state made available through the Michigan Tuition Grant and the Michigan Achievement Scholarship. So when we combine some of those funds with federal funds and our funds that we offer, that's what allows us to make this opportunity for students to attend Spring Arbor without seeing out-of-pocket tuition.
Awesome. And we don't know yet, but just yesterday the legislature passed the next year's state budget with a really high commitment on education. Obviously, you're a private school, but student benefits from increased investment in education from the state will certainly trickle down and allow more students to enter higher education.
Yeah, I think anything that a state can do to continue to support higher education in the state, you minimize the outflow of that talent, right? Any state is trying to keep their best and their brightest in the state and continue to pour into the local and state economies that exist. So we're excited to continue to be present at the State House and continue to talk to our legislators and advocate for the great work that we do in terms of preparing students and the difference that they're making in this state.
Well, awesome. Thanks for all that you're doing for our community and for our kids. And thanks for coming in today.
Certainly. Thank you for having me.
Happy 4th.
Thank you. You as well.
Thank
Enjoy.
you. Vice President for Enrollment Management at Spring Arbor University, John Bahr. Well, stay